I'm Dr. Segler, a sports medicine specialist in San Francisco who makes house calls. Because I see a lot of runners, a lot of people often ask me exactly what is a custom orthotic. Now, a custom molded orthotic is a device that has been prescribed for the patient by a podiatrist that has a rigid material. In this case, it's actually carbon fiber or graphite, but this one also has a heel post that provides additional support and shock absorption for this patient. There's some special accommodations for the patient due to some arthritis in the big toe joint, as well as some additional cushioning under the forefoot here. And then the main thing with the orthotic, of course, is the amount of control that we need for that patient. And in this case, when the patient actually stands on the custom molded orthotic, it keeps the heel bone aligned properly, makes up for any of the biomechanical inefficiencies that the patient just happened to be born with, and controls all that abnormal pronation and supination. So one of the questions I often get is, what is the difference between pronation and supination? And the easiest way to illustrate that is to draw a line on the back of the Achilles tendon that is representative of the orientation of the leg, whereas a line on the back of the heel really represents the foot. And pronation really is when the inside of the ankle rolls inward and the heel bone tilts over. Supination is the opposite of that, where the heel bone is rolling outward, and you can see the change in the alignment in the leg. Supination is what happens when you're pushing off, and that's what makes your foot rigid. Pronation is what you do to absorb impact when you land and you're running or walking. And so as your foot rolls inward, you absorb impact, but you can see the loss of your arch height that happens when you pronate. So when someone says you're an overpronator, it's really the loss of the arch height and the tilting over of the heel bone that is what people are referring to as pronation. You're probably wondering whether or not you will need custom orthotics. However, the truth is that not everyone needs orthotics. The types of runners that most often benefit from orthotics are those that have had a history of chronic injuries, shin splints, tendonitis, stress fractures, or have really high arches or really low arches. Once the podiatrist takes all of the biomechanical measurements and completes your physical exam, we actually make a plaster mold of your feet. By using these plaster casts of your feet, we will make an actual reproduction of your feet in a corrected position to make your orthotics. There are lots of different orthotic materials, and depending upon your discussion with the doctor, we'll decide whether you need a multi-layered device like this one seen here, or if it's something like a plastic type device that's made of a hard, rigid plastic but can still control all of the motion in your heel. All of these devices do different things, and there are different advantages. This one, in fact, is a carbon fiber type that is very strong, rigid, and great for cycling shoes, dress shoes, and ski boots as well. Your doctor will help you figure out which will be best for you. You will then have a pair of orthotics that are 100% made for you. As soon as your orthotics are ready, the doctor will bring them back to you at home. Then you're going to actually use the orthotics as a replacement device. So you'll want to take your running shoes or casual shoes and you'll remove the insert that comes in the shoe. As you can see, this is flexible and doesn't really provide any support at all. So you'll put that aside and take your orthotic that is rigid and is going to provide support for you and put it in your running shoe. If you're a runner looking for custom orthotics, make sure that you see a sports medicine specialist, because not all orthotics are created equal, and you need to make sure that you explain all of your goals as well as your running history with your doctor. As long as you do that, you'll be able to stay on track and you'll be able to do well in your next race.